everyone. Let's start with the Tech Fluent Season 3 podcast 2 with Deeksha. Deeksha, thank you for being out here. First, I'd like you to introduce yourself to the audience.
Okay, hello LPU. I am really honored to be here. I'm Dr. Deeksha Sharma. My work is in emotional intelligence and in mental health. I'm an IIT Roorkee alum and I worked at Cornell University and specifically on emotions. So anything about emotions, I'm the person. I'm also founder of Enso Life, which is a neuro art concept, and we're going to talk more about that. And I'm 4-time TEDx speaker. I'm also the top voice on LinkedIn specifically on emotional intelligence. So if you have any queries about emotions, I'm the person to contact.
Thank you, Deeksha. So we did the session in the morning and the students had a lot of queries. So we bundled out a few queries and made a few questions out of it to ask you out here in the podcast. Let me start with that. How did you research on emotional intelligence at Cornell University influence your career path? What advice would you give to the students interested in pursuing a similar research-oriented career?
Okay, so my work initially was very interdisciplinary. I was trying to galvanize psychology, some part of statistics, mathematics, some part of machine learning, and organizational behavior and psychology on one platform. So it was a very difficult task to do, but I was able to do it. And that's what intrigued the professors at most of the universities in America, and they wanted me to work on the postdoc. But that is the one side. What was happening within me was I really wanted to understand the concept of emotions because it's so subjective. It has the subjectivity which is very difficult to understand and to adhere to in terms of brain. So I was intrigued to understand that how can emotion drive your life, whether personal or professional, even decision makings, and even AI is being used in how you are, the stock market is working. So psychology is in everything. And that kind of intrigued my idea of having some applicability of emotional intelligence. And for that matter, I did my postdoc.
Great. And that covers a lot, I would say. As a founder of Enso Life, a mental health advocate, what challenges did you face in establishing your venture and how did you overcome?
Oh, that's a great question. So before I begin with this particular initiative, I was part of the startup community from a very long time. It started way back, I think 2019, when I was part of the We Cornell initiative, which is a women entrepreneurial club. It's an amazing club. I was also part of YC school. And there it just was like, it was giving me a hike. I have to create something. Okay, I've done publishing books, I've done publishing research papers, doing sessions, but what next? Application is everything. And if I'm not able to apply, then what's the point? Like Elon Musk did the same. Like he left doing PhD because he was like, how I'm going to apply it if I'm not able to do that? There's no point of doing this PhD. So I was like, let me find a way doing that. But the challenge was I have to bridge a gap between this academic research world and the startup world, which was in the beginning intimidating for me. But then when I started going as an advisor and consultant to startups, I started realizing how this world works, how this ecosystem is. What are the challenges of founders? How the VCs work? How the angel investors work? And I work very closely with many founders and angel investors to actually understand the concept. Now, coming back to the question, the basic challenge is that in the era of the artificial intelligence and everything going digital, my idea to bring in this neuro art at the moment, we have a gaming session as well, is basically doing these offline sessions because I think that's the need of the hour. You go to Bay Area in San Francisco, there are huge communities like more than 50K, 100K. They're basically calling all the founders and all techie people. They find time to do those offline sessions. So I was very interested in doing that. I talked to the YC people also. And what feedback they gave me that, right now because of AI, the funding will be very difficult for you. But I was not looking for funding. My ticketing price is such that I cross my break even very easily. So I was like, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for guidance, the right direction, how to make it sustainable and marketable in different countries. So that started getting from different experienced founders and angel investors and even VCs. And I think I'm on a right path to understand things. It's a slow and steady process. I am making it very an organic market. I don't want those fluffy, marketing which creates like a pumping it and doesn't work. Actually, who are your users? How many times they're coming back to you? That matters. So It's very organic, it's very slow and steady, and I'm liking my piece. So I'm happy.
The best part you added at the last. You're liking your piece. So what
Yes.
skills and qualities do you believe are essential for students who want to work in the field of mental health and emotional intelligence?
Oh, great question. So the first thing is right knowledge. I think the problem comes in when we don't have the right knowledge. It's not a field that you build a bridge and it fell apart. It's about people, it's about their lives. So if you are getting into this field, you have to take the onus and the responsibility of their life. I understand it's not like that somebody has a heart attack and they need to be revived. But again, mental health is very important. So if you are becoming a consultant, or if you are becoming a therapist, or you're getting into that field which have some applicability, you have to take the onus. And for that onus, you need to have actual right kind of education and knowledge to deal with it. So for example, one of the problem which is turning up, even in United States as well as in India, is like, if you have any problem, people are popping medicines. They are being prescribed medicines even before their simple talking therapy sessions. And I think that is missing out. So we need to make sure that, okay, we need to commercialize things, but sometimes you have to take the responsibility of it. So first thing is right kind of knowledge, right kind of ethics. But having said that, if you want to make it as your career, the first thing is that you need to have certain research base. Whether it can be quantitative or it can be qualitative, or it can be a quasi-experiment, mixed method experiments, whatever you do. But you need to have certain research which you own. Only then you'll understand the journey of it, and you'll understand where are the limitations, where are the problems which are actually that place is having. And then you can project onto your model which you want to work as a business, or as a service, or as a product.
Great. Now this one is related to your TEDx speech, because a lot of students want to understand that how being or leveraging the TEDx platform, they can build their career, they can build their personal brand and advance in their career.
Okay.
Because you have already done it. None better than you to answer it.
Okay, thank you for the question. I believe that TEDx is a platform where the people want to talk about some eureka moments, something which you have done out of the box. And trust me, when I did it, I was being invited for it. So I did nothing. The only thing I did was I was good at my work. And that spoke for itself. I was not doing anything extra. But having said, after the first TEDx, I found that, okay, this is something where I can convey my ideas, I can convey my work, I can deliver the concept and the ideology in a very beautiful way, and people can, learn from it. So instead of writing papers and publishing book, which is again I'm doing till now, but this is an amazing way where people can understand in that 7 minutes or 6 minutes, they can understand a lot. And it's very difficult to put everything in those 6 minutes. To do that, the first thing is the gift of gab. Definitely you need to have it, but you can practice it. It's not that difficult to build those communication skills. That's not tough. The tougher part is to have the right knowledge and to have that eureka idea. That idea which is different from the others. So for example, if you're talking about emotional intelligence, there are people who will be talking about it. But your research or your experience in business or in academics, what exactly is different in it which makes you unique to speak about that idea in front of so many people, and they get convinced that you are someone who can stand at that stage and talk about it. So first, you need to build that profile. And for me, it took more than 10 years to build that. But after that, it was like a cascading thing, which came one after the other. So after one TEDx talk, people will invite you for this or the other thing. My focus was that whatever I am presenting, it needs to be organic and authentic. If these two things work, TEDx will invite you. No repetitions, no plagiarism, I should say. Something which is very unique to your personality, to your work, to your experiences. So I think that'll work for you.
Great. In your experience, how can students effectively balance academic pursuits and entrepreneurial or extracurricular activities related to mental health or emotional intelligence? Half of it you answered in your previous one. It takes time. It took 10 years for that TEDx talk to come in. You need to balance it. It means being authentic. What more would you like to add to it?
Okay. Can you rephrase the question a little bit for
So,
me?
how students can effectively balance their academic pursuits and any extracurricular or maybe an entrepreneurial
The
edge
kind
that they
of
want to?
balance.
Yeah.
Okay. So the only thing I'll say, there is nothing like balance. So when I go to these sessions for the employees at different organizations, I say work-life balance is a myth. Similarly, I'll tell the students there is nothing like balance. You always have to be on toes and start loving that culture. Start loving that uncertainty. That there'll be never a balance between your academic life or extracurricular. You have to always modulate one or the other. So when your exams are about to be there, you have to focus on your exams. And when you get some time span like just before and after some holidays, focus on extracurricular activities. Or for example, you like music, so be part of the music club and learn from your seniors what they have done. Do a lot of collabs, but make sure that is not impacting your studies. So there'll never be a balance that you create this planner and it's going to be executed every day. That'll never happen. You have to always modulate. Don't be in a guilt that, oh, it's not working out for me, there has to be a formula for it. It's not like that. Maybe the way you are spending a day is entirely different than what I'm spending a day or your best friend is spending a day. So just relax, calm yourself down and focus on enjoying the moment. If you're studying, enjoy it. Enjoy that chapter, enjoy that class, that you learn something new. And when you go out and do something outside, like maybe music, art, or some athletic event, just enjoy it and be there and learn from your heart. That means that when you're learning it, make sure that you are doing it with the concept that, oh, I don't want this on my resume. No, that if I'm doing it right now, 10 years also, after 10 years, if somebody's meeting me, I can talk about it. So focus on that basic constructive learning process instead of I can do this. It's never gonna work out. And balance, trust me, it'll not be now, and it'll never be when even you're working for some organization or starting some startup of yours. Then there is no balance at all. So my suggestion to you, don't focus on balance. Focus on everyday learning and how can you improve every day. That's the goal.
If I would have to put it the way that you put it out, there's always this fight between balance, no balance in work life, and you took the other side of it. But to put it into perspective, be truthful to what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And that's what's more important.
Absolutely.
And if you're truthful to anything that you're doing today in the moment right now, and you do it with every other thing that you do, things would automatically work out and you would already have the balance which you're looking for.
Perfect. Yes.
Great. Now, as you're working on adaptive intelligence, this is something which is very intriguing to me also. We might have experience in some or the other manner, but you being the expert there, please share how this works, adaptive intelligence, and how students can make benefit out of it.
Okay, so I think we had a share of movement when we talked about it, but we'll have to share again. So my work is in emotional intelligence, all right? So what is intelligence? Intelligence is nothing but ability to solve a problem, right? Very basic, simple thing. Now you make a lot of big constructs around it, social intelligence, cultural intelligence, this and that. And when I was about to start my PhD, I was doing some research for literature, and I found this guy, a very renowned scientist, Dr. Sternberg. He's father of intelligence, and he actually introduced the G word for the intelligence. And when I went to Cornell, I was working on AI, and I got to know he's here, and I was like, I'm supposed to meet him. I just bashed there and I said, sir, I would love to work with you on any project. You give me any project, I just want to learn. It's about my learning, because the kind of experience you have, I will learn something good. So he's a very old guy and very, he has his timeline, do this. I have to, again, that's what I'm trying to tell you. So if you want to work with any professor, any teacher, you need to modulate yourself, because they are the gurus and you are the disciple, right? I did that. And it was very interesting to start working with him. And we worked on this concept called adaptive intelligence. Now, what exactly it was? It was on the concept of that you don't need degrees from any place to do something good in life. Because as in humans, we are being made in such a way, and our brain evolves in such a way that it is basically the ability to solve a problem, right? Now, if that's the case, then why are we having these Ivy school degrees or IT degrees and all that things? And that's what he was trying to convey, that we need to build a system where people actually learn things and just not crack exams. And it's very, very important. Cracking exam is okay, but what after that? Do you have those skill sets to live your life properly as a human being and as a human species? Will you survive for the next coming offsprings? So that was the basic idea. So for example, I built the whole construct around, and we built the model, and we did a lot of factor analysis around a lot of constructs. So one of them, I'm giving an example, was like if there is pollution, like maybe in the ocean gets red near Miami, and specifically near the Florida, there is a lot of pollution, and the sea gets oxidized, so it gets red. What should be done that it's not getting toxicated every year? What should be done? Secondly, he took the example of Delhi, and I was really intrigued that he knows that Delhi has some pollution, and he said, what can be done to solve it? We know the problems, but are we solving these things? Third, for example, if there is issues of mental health, how in a group or social setup, how are you helping each other? Because these are very basic things. You think they are not making you earn money, but they are very important to earn money eventually. So that's why he was working with this, how you're going to adapt as a human species and use the concept of intelligence to work around and get better as in society. So he thinks way above than the commercial aspect, but I really love the concept, and I think all of us, even I consider myself student now, all the students, they should understand the concept of adaptive intelligence, that it's very important to solve a problem. For that, you use any means. Good ethical mean, of course, but other things are means. Eventually, you're solving a problem. So how are you going to do that?
Great. And jokes apart, everyone knows Delhi has pollution.
Yes.
So, a part of this question which you answered,
yeah,
it reflects onto the next question
okay.
as well. What role has mentorship played in your career, and how students find and cultivate meaningful mentorship relations?
Oh,
you
wow.
talked about Dr. Sentworth,
Oh, wow.
and that's where it comes from.
Yes, I think I am what I am because of the gurus and mentors I had in my life, and the way they treated me, like you are supposed to do this, and it is supposed to be like that, and the kind of honor and code of conduct I had. Because of that, I think I'm here in what I am. So I think I was discussing with you earlier also. My first manuscript when I was coming, and why it stands out is just because I had a mental trauma at that time. I was supposed to publish in Sage, but my mentor was like, no, reread it, do these changes. And I had more than 100 manuscripts, which I gave it to her to get her acceptance. Then only I could go for my, my publication. And she was amazing. I think those 6 months, which I felt like a grilling time, was the most beautiful time ever I had in my life. Best authentic learning I had from her. And because of that, what happened next was that I was able to represent my India and IITs in many international conferences, and I was up for it. I knew what I was speaking about. I was confident about what I was about to say. Why? Because I learned. I put those hours into it. Why? Because my mentor was always like, no, this is not right, do it again, do it again, do it again. And that gave me that feeling that, no, I think maybe in the beginning, I was like, why is it happening with me? I was trying to find a shortcut because I was also a student. So I was thinking, okay, let me find a shortcut out of it. But then eventually she trained my mind in such a way that even now, if I have I was a mentor of one of the master students at Cornell, and I did the same with her. And I could feel that the agony in the eyes of the master student. She was a Chinese student. But then eventually when she passed the exam and she had her defense, she just said that, Dr. Sharma, they don't say ma'am, sir. They say, Dr. Sharma, you're one of the finest mentor I had. And that just resonated because I felt the same for my mentor. So my suggestion to you is, when your guru, your teachers, when your professors are trying to tell you something, listen, because they know the world better than you. Trust me, I have been to that place, and you will become better. You'll feel like you have finished and you have learned something which you could not if that person was not in your life. So mentorship in every field, I think in even the field of startups, education, or in business, it is a must. We are still social constructs. We are social animals. We're supposed to have one-on-one interactions with mentors, and if you have someone like that as a mentor, you're the lucky ones. Because trust me, everyone don't get mentors. So if you have someone, very lucky. If you don't have, find one and listen to your professors, listen to what they're trying to tell you. That's for your well-being. And you will understand maybe after 10 years, just like I'm sitting here, I'm talking about my mentors, you're also gonna do the same.
Students might think we gave you the answer for this.
No, it's my experience.
So, with experience, this is your first visit to Punjab.
Yes.
And to Lauluvation University. How was the experience? How is Punjab? How was the experience of Tech Fluent Season 3?
I loved it. So before flying from New York, I was skeptical about so much of stuff. But the moment I land in Punjab, there's this warmth I can feel. It's very green, and especially LPU. It has this clean air. People are very nice. The students are lovely, and the food. The food is amazing. I love the food, and even like if you talk to people, they're just smiling back at you, and I think that's the warmth I am always looking for. So I'm really glad I'm here, and thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you for being a part of Tech Fluent 3. We look forward to have more collaborative and constructive relations in the future.
Sure. Thank you.